Hi guys! So today I want to show you a full coverage foundation routine that I've been using recently, and it gives you a really natural look, but it also gives you a really flawless look, and it looks really great in person, but it also looks really great on camera. I was sent some mineral products recently and I've been trying them out, and I really love the way that they make my skin look in person and on camera. The brand is called Advanced Mineral, and the cool thing about it is it comes with a liquid foundation and they have a pressed powder foundation. And you know, I've been watching a lot of TV shows lately, and I always see people on TV and I'm wondering, how do they get their skin to look so amazing on camera, but it doesn't even look like they're wearing foundation at all. And these products are actually used on the set of some TV shows. So I think mineral foundation is the way to go if you want that really flawless look on camera or, you know, in person. If you guys want to see how I actually apply these and how I layer them together to get a really flawless look, then keep watching. This is the liquid foundation, and I'm just going to apply this like I do most of my foundations with a stippling brush. And the one that I'm using is the Real Technique stippling brush. The reason I'm not using my Sigma is because my Sigma stippling brush is really densely packed, so it doesn't work as well with really light foundation formulations. It absorbs a lot of the product, but this brush is still kind of fluffy, so it works better with light coverage foundations or even mousse foundations or cream foundations. So I'm just buffing this into my skin, and as you can see, this has a very sheer coverage, but you can build the coverage and work up by applying multiple layers. So I'm just going to apply the first layer. Okay, so that's the first layer, and as you can see, it's really evened out my skin tone a lot, but it hasn't fully covered my redness or my active breakouts, but it does even out your skin. And the thing that's really nice about this foundation is it is really light, and it feels really light on your skin, so it doesn't feel like you have a lot of product on. So I'm just going to let this set, and then I'm going to put on a second layer. Now that that's kind of settled into my skin a little bit, I'm just going to put on my second layer. I'm just going to do that exactly the same way that I did the first one. Now if you had really dry skin, you could just stop after this. Once you build this up to the coverage that you want, you wouldn't even need to set this with a powder because it's not super dewy. It's actually more of a natural looking finish. For me, I like to set it with a powder because I have combination skin, but like I said, if you have dry skin, you wouldn't even need to do that. It lasts pretty well on its own. When I haven't set it with a powder, it does last pretty well, except in those oily zones. I will get some oil kind of seeping through. If you don't have a stippling brush like this, you can also apply this with your hands pretty easily. The only thing is you need to work in smaller areas because it does eventually kind of thicken up and set up, and it's a little bit harder to blend. And I'm just a big fan of the stippling brushes or the buffing brushes because they just make it really easy and really quick to apply product to your face, and it gives you a really thin application, and it allows you to really build up those layers in thin layers so that you can get the coverage that you want without going overboard and getting really cakey face. So that's the second layer after it's kind of settled in. You can see it's a really natural finish. I still have a little bit of a glow to my skin. It's not super matte, and it's not overly dewy. And I still have a little bit of my blemishes peeking through right here. So what I'm going to do is just take a tiny bit more of the product, kind of spread it out really thin, and then pick a little bit up with my brush. And then just really press that and dab that on and stipple it on just on those areas that need that little bit of extra coverage. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do with the liquid mineral makeup. The thing that is really good about this foundation is it doesn't irritate your skin. It's very hypoallergenic, so it doesn't cause more irritation to your skin. And you can see, I'm going to show you guys close up, it still looks really natural. Like, it doesn't look like I have a ton of product on my face. It looks like my own skin is still showing through. You can still see a little bit of these blemishes poking through, but once I put the mineral powder foundation on top, it's going to give me that little bit of extra coverage, and it's just going to help everything look more flawless. But I think this will be perfectly acceptable for a day-to-day foundation when, you know, you're just going out. You don't have to have, you know, perfectly flawless skin, everything covered. And I love the way that it looks on my skin. It also makes my pores look less visible. Sometimes with really full coverage foundations, they can kind of make your pores look more noticeable because they just sink down in there, make them look more enlarged. But this really just makes my pores look less visible. And like I said, it looks like real skin. It doesn't look like a thick layer of product. So this is the Advanced Mineral Powder Foundation. If you have really oily skin, you could just use this. But I like to use both because, like I said, I have the combination skin and I just like the way that it looks and the nice amount of coverage that you get from layering the two products. But if you had really oily skin, you would just need this because this is a foundation. It has really good coverage on its own. You can apply this with a buffing brush like this. This is just the Sigma Kabuki brush if you want really, really full coverage. But the brush that I've actually been loving using is this Real Techniques, what is this? This is just their multitasking brush. It has natural fibers and synthetic fibers, and it gives you more of a light, natural looking application, whereas this is gonna give you a really heavy application. So what I like to do is just kind of pick up some of the product and then swirl it in the mirror just to kind of get it down into the bristles. And then I just start buffing that onto my skin. Doing it this way is gonna make your skin look less powdery, and it really just works the minerals into your skin and gives you more coverage and more oil control without looking super cakey and powdery. You can see it still looks like skin. It doesn't look super powdery, and I haven't even sprayed on a setting spray or anything like that. Just the nature of the mineral makeup, it just kind of settles into your skin a little more naturally and doesn't look super powdery. And you can see I still have a little bit of a glow to my skin because the minerals are a little bit more light reflective. Alright, so I'm going to finish the rest of my face. I'll show you guys what it looks like at the end when I have the rest of my makeup on, because it's kind of hard to tell when it's just a full face of blank makeup with no dimension or anything, no bronzer. So I'll show you guys what it looks like at the very end when I finish my entire makeup. Sorry guys, forgot to actually film that for you, but this is a picture of what my makeup looked like after I finished that day. It's actually from my Elena Gilbert inspired tutorial, which will be coming up next. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!